What if I told you that there are simple habits applied for centuries in Japan that can completely transform your home and your life? And no, it's not an exaggeration. The Japanese are known for living in clean, organized, and harmonious spaces, even when the space is small. But what is the secret behind this? Will it be discipline, tradition, or ancient methods? The answer goes far beyond that. Have you ever wondered why even very small houses in Japan seem spacious, peaceful, and so functional? The truth is that there are 15 secrets that few people know, and today I'm going to reveal each of them to you. From different ways of folding clothes to a special way of choosing what stays in or what goes out of your house, you will see the environment around you truly transform. But be careful. If you ignore these tips, you will continue to be frustrated with the mess, the lack of time, and that feeling that you can never keep everything in order. Now, if you watch until the end, you'll discover how these simple ideas can give you peace, practicality, and a home you really love living in. Have you ever entered a house so tidy, so serene, that it seemed magical? It wasn't about expensive furniture or perfect decor. It was about sensation. Now, think quickly. Does your home give you this peace, or does it cause you stress just by looking at it? If you're constantly feeling overwhelmed by clutter, tired of cleaning, and never seeing results, you're not alone. The routine is tough, and keeping the house in order seems like an impossible mission. But what if I told you that there was another way to take care of the house? A light, practical, and transformative way, inspired by centuries of Japanese wisdom. The Japanese live in small but incredibly organized, functional, and welcoming spaces. How do they do it? They follow simple but powerful principles. And today, I'll show you 15 Japanese secrets that you can apply in your home right now. These secrets don't require money, extra time, or special skills. They are a mix of mindset and practical action, and they work because they respect your rhythm, your home, and your well-being. You will understand how to use space intelligently, how to reduce excess without suffering, and how to make cleaning something light, even pleasurable. What's more, you'll discover why less is more is just a pretty phrase. You will learn about the concept of ma, which values the emptiness and the breath between objects, and how this transforms any cramped environment into an airy and calm place. You will understand how a simple daily ritual can keep your home clean without any effort. Each tip will show you a small change, but which, added to the others, can completely transform your relationship with your home. If you apply it, I guarantee you your home will never be the same. Number 1. The Yuzuji ritual. Cleaning as renewal. Have you ever felt like you clean, and yet the house is still heavy, as if the energy of the place didn't change? So, it is. This happens because we often clean only from the outside, automatically, without presence, without intention. In Japan, there's a practice called Yuzuji, which goes far beyond traditional cleaning. It is a deep cleaning ritual that serves to clean the environment and also renew the interior of those who live there. The problem that Yuzuji solves is that of stagnation. You know that feeling that everything is stuck? Often, the environment reflects exactly this accumulation of things, forgotten dirt, ignored corners. All of this creates an invisible weight. Yuzuji teaches that cleaning is a way of making space for the new, and that changes everything. How to apply. You don't need to wait for the end of the year, as is tradition in Japan. You can create your own weekly or monthly ritual. Set aside time just for this. No cell phones ringing, no running around. Choose a room, take a deep breath, and start cleaning as if you were caring for a sacred place. Remove everything from its place, clean forgotten surfaces, open the windows, and let the air circulate. When you finish, stop for a moment and observe what changed in the energy of this space. You can, for example, choose every first Saturday of the month to do this. Put on some calm music, prepare some tea afterward, and turn this moment into self-care, not an obligation. The direct benefit: you reconnect with your home. It stops being a burden and becomes a refuge. And believe me, when you clean with presence, the mess takes longer to return, because the energy of space changes, and with it, your mood and well-being also change. Number 2. The principle of Dansari. Conscious detachment. Have you ever opened your closet and thought, I have nothing to wear, even though it is full? Have you ever tried to tidy up a room, but the amount of stuff seemed to be suffocating? So, it is. This isn't just a lack of organization. It's excess. Excess of objects. Accumulations, memories that no longer make sense. And that's where the Japanese concept of Dansari comes in, which literally means refuse, discard, and separate. Dansari solves the problem of meaningless accumulation, the feeling of I can't fix it because I don't know where to start. Often, what we need is not more organizing boxes. It's less stuff, less clutter, less distraction, less weight. This Japanese method teaches you to look at each object and ask yourself, is this still useful? Does this make me feel good? Does this represent me today? And if the answer is no, it's time to let go. How to apply? Start small. Take a drawer, a shelf, or a specific corner of the house. Tap each item. Yes, really play and evaluate honestly. Is it broken? Has it been standing still for years? Would you keep this if you were building your home from scratch today? If not, thank them mentally and say goodbye. It seems simple, but this gesture creates physical and mental space. And contrary to what it seems, it is not an act of loss. It is an act of liberation. You can even create a permanent detachment basket in your home, where you put everything you realize you no longer need throughout the week. Once a month, donate or discard the contents. This prevents the mess from accumulating again. The direct benefit: lightness, clarity, ease of cleaning, finding things, breathing. Your home gains space, and your mind too. You will realize that the less you have, the more value you give to what really matters. Number 3. The Tatiku technique. Organize vertically. Have you ever had the feeling that no matter how hard you try to organize your drawers or closets, everything quickly becomes disorganized? Or that you never find what you need without having to take out a bunch of stuff first? This is a common problem, and the answer lies in a very simple and efficient technique used in Japan, the Tatiku, or vertical organization. This technique solves the problem of invisible clutter, that kind of mess that is stored but remains confusing, impractical, and difficult to access. When we stack objects or clothes on top of each other, we create a natural barrier. What is below, we forget. What's on top, we mess up every time we move it. Have you ever noticed this with clothes, for example? In Japan, the custom is to organize everything so that it is visible and accessible at the same time. Folded clothes are standing side by side, as if they were books on a shelf. Boxes and kitchen items are organized vertically in dividers that show each element clearly, so everything is in sight. Nothing is hidden, and the mess doesn't come back easily. How to apply? Start with a clothes drawer. Instead of stacking t-shirts on top of each other, fold them and place them side by side. You can use dividers or even simple boxes to keep the rows organized. The same goes for kitchen utensils, cleaning products, or stationery items. When you organize in vertical layers, you save space and increase efficiency. The impact is immediate. You save time in your daily life, reduce visual clutter, and even find more pleasure in keeping everything in order. It's not just about tidying up, it's about making your life easier. The most incredible thing is that once you try this method, it's difficult to go back to the old way of storing things. Can you imagine all your drawers like this, with everything visible, easy to reach, and effortless to keep tidy? That's Tatiku working in your favor. Number 4. The concept of the value of empty space. Have you ever felt like your house is too full, even after tidying everything up, that every corner seems busy, visually heavy, without breathing. This happens when we forget to value something essential: empty space. In Japan, there is an ancient concept called ma, which represents exactly that: the interval, the silence, the space between things. And believe me, applying ma in your home can completely change the feeling of comfort and well-being. Ma solves the problem of visual pollution and sensory overload. The feeling of being in a crowded environment where your eyes never rest. Many times, even when organized, our homes are too full with furniture, objects, and decorations. The excess of visual information generates anxiety without us realizing. Applying ma means intentionally creating areas of breathing space. Leave surfaces free. Avoid filling every inch with something decorative, and allow the environment to have pauses. Think like a well-punctuated sentence. This conveys calm, elegance, and harmony. How to apply? Start by observing a room in your house. Look at the walls, the furniture, the objects. Is there room for emptiness? You can, for example, leave a shelf partially empty or a wall without pictures. On top of a dresser may be just a single vase. The idea is not to remove the personality from the environment, but to allow it to breathe. A powerful example is the entrance to the house. In Japan, the genkan is always simple, with as little as possible. This already conveys lightness as soon as you enter, like an invitation to rest. You can adapt this to your home, even if it is a small corner. Leave it clean, bright, and free from excess. The immediate benefit of ma: your home will exude tranquility. It becomes a place of welcome, not constant stimulation. And you know what's more beautiful? When you start to value empty space, you realize that you don't need more, but less. Number 5. Ishun. The power of one moment. One life. Have you ever left a dish in the sink, thinking, I'll wash it later, and the next thing you know, the sink is full? Have you ever pushed something into a corner, thinking, I'll put it away later, and it turned into a pile of clutter? This is the kind of micro-delay that, over time, turns into silent chaos. But the Japanese have a powerful principle called Ishun, which is translated as one moment, one life. The idea is simple. Each small action has the power to change the whole if done with presence and at the right time. This secret solves the problem of procrastinating on small tasks, those that seem harmless but accumulate and overwhelm you. Ishun's proposal is, if something can be done in a minute, do it now. Don't postpone. Don't plan for the future. Resolve it in the present as a way of taking care of your space and yourself. How to apply? This could be revolutionary. Have you finished eating? In 1 minute, the plate is washed. Did you come in from the street? In 1 minute, the shoe is in the right place. Did you get out of bed? In 1 minute, it's ready. It's not about doing everything. It's about not letting small things become a bigger problem. What's more, Ishun also carries an emotional value. It invites you to be present, living that minute as if it were important, because it is. It breaks the cycle of rush, neglect, and accumulation. Little by little, you will notice that your house starts to keep itself clean, not because the mess disappeared, but because you started to eliminate it before it was even born. The direct benefit: lightness in everyday life, more free time, and less accumulated stress. You stop putting out fires and start maintaining order with small, simple, and effective gestures. And the most beautiful thing? Your home begins to reflect your constant care, and not just your moments of despair. Number 6. Kano. The beauty of simplicity. Have you ever had the impression that the more things you put in an environment, the more difficult it becomes to organize? That even when cleaning, a space looks visually busy? This happens because we confuse decoration with ornament and functionality with quantity. But the Japanese have a principle called Kano, which means intentional simplicity. It's about eliminating what's unnecessary, not just for aesthetics but for mental peace. Kano solves the too full house problem, that feeling that everything is in order but still not comfortable. This is a sign of excess. Too many pictures on the walls, too many objects on the surfaces, and furniture that takes up more than it gives back. Kano proposes the opposite. It proposes cleaning not just with a broom, but with visual criteria. How to apply? Start by observing your environments from a different perspective. What is there just for the sake of it? Do you have decorations accumulated on the shelf? Are there too many pots and utensils on top of the sink? Do you have a small table that is only used for clutter? Kano invites you to remove what doesn't add, and keep only what really has function or value. Fewer items, more meaning. The impact of this is immediate. A good example is the bedroom. Often, the accumulation of objects around the bed even interferes with the quality of sleep. When applying Kano, you can leave only the essentials: a soft lamp, a small plant, a book. Ready. Wait. The environment breathes, and you do too. Another example is the living room. Instead of 10 picture frames and decorations on top of the furniture, choose 1 or 2 that really represent something special. The rest? Release. Give your eyes space to rest, and give the house space to welcome you. The direct benefit of Kano: lighter, more beautiful environments. Easier to clean and maintain. Your home begins to have an aesthetic that soothes, and you come to realize that beauty is not in excess, but in the intention behind each choice. Number 7. Sama. Shared responsibility. Have you ever felt like you're carrying the weight of the house alone? That everything depends on you? Cleaning, tidying, organizing. And that even if you do your best, there is still pressure and fatigue? This is very common, especially in families where home care is seen as an individual responsibility. But the Japanese practice a value called Otagi Sama, which means something like "we're in this together." This secret solves the problem of household overload, where everything revolves around one person, and the balance is broken. The house becomes a burden, and emotional exhaustion increases. Otagi Sama teaches that maintaining the environment is a collective construction. Each person contributes what they can, respecting the other's capacity and time. How to apply? This does not mean dividing tasks with a fixed list or constant demands. It means changing the culture at home. A practical example: start by involving everyone in small actions. Children can learn from an early age to save what they use. Partners can be invited, not required, to participate, with sincere recognition for each help. A sincere thank you has more power than any scolding. You can also create simple rituals, such as a 10-minute cleansing moment with everyone together once a week. Put on some music, everyone takes care of a room, and that's it. The house gets in order faster and the moment becomes something almost fun. Another idea is to keep a bulletin board with small rotating tasks. Whoever does it scores, and the mural becomes a symbol of collaboration, not demands. The direct benefit of Otagi Sama: less emotional weight, more togetherness. When everyone feels responsible for the home, it stops being a battlefield and becomes a living space. The climate changes, the energy changes, and care flows more naturally. And the most beautiful thing: when people realize that the home belongs to everyone, they take care of it with more affection, more awareness. And the result of this is a lighter, livelier, and more harmonious home. Number 8. Codo. The path of aroma. Have you ever entered a room and been invaded by a good smell and immediately felt a sense of peace, comfort, or nostalgia? Or the opposite? Have you ever entered your home and noticed a strange, heavy smell that bothers you, even if everything seems clean? So it is. The sense of smell has enormous power in the way we perceive spaces, and the Japanese have known this for centuries. They have a practice called Codo, which means the path of aroma. More than perfume, it's about creating atmosphere. This secret solves the problem of a cold, impersonal environment or one that, even when clean, does not seem welcoming. Codo proposes the conscious use of aromas as part of home care, not just to disguise bad smells, but to evoke positive sensations. Aromas activate emotional memory, bring a feeling of comfort, and even help you relax. How to apply? This does not mean using strong-smelling disinfectants throughout the house. It's about choosing scents with intention. A resting environment can have lavender. The room can have something more woody or citrusy. The kitchen can stay fresh with notes of lemon or green tea. In Japan, they use incense, natural sachets, essential oils, and even aromatic woods such as cedar and hinoki to create this atmosphere. You can adapt this easily. A diffuser with essential oil, a sachet of natural herbs in the drawers, or even boiling orange peels with cloves and cinnamon before cleaning. These are small gestures, but they transform the atmosphere. The direct benefit: your home gains a sensorial identity. The smell becomes part of the experience of being there. This helps with the feeling of prolonged cleanliness, emotional comfort, and even productivity, as aromas influence mood and disposition. More than just looking clean, your home will smell like home, and everyone will notice, including you, every time you walk through the door. Number 9. Kaizen no I. Continuous improvement of space. Have you ever noticed how, over time, certain spaces in the house become closed? A corner that was once useful, but today only accumulates clutter? A piece of furniture that previously seemed ideal but now just gets in the way? The truth is that our homes change, and so do we. What worked before may not work anymore. The Japanese understand this as part of the natural cycle of the home. Therefore, they apply the principle of Kaizen, continuous improvement, also in the environment. When this is applied to physical space, we call it Kaizen no I, or continuous improvement of space. This secret solves the problem of domestic stagnation, the feeling that something is out of place, that the house has stopped in time, that it is functional but uncomfortable. Kaizen no I proposes a constant review of spaces, with small improvements made little by little, always with the aim of making the routine easier and making the environment more pleasant. How to apply? This means observing your home with a critical and curious eye. Ask yourself, does this arrangement still work? Is this piece of furniture helping or hindering me? Is this drawer practical, or is it always stuck? With small actions, you can transform your space. Move a piece of furniture. Donate what no longer serves a purpose. Replace a basket that keeps falling over with a more sturdy one. A simple example. You know that chair that keeps turning into a clothes storage? Maybe it needs to move, or maybe you need a clothes rack in its place. You can set aside a little time once a month just for this. Look at the house as a living project in constant evolution, and with each small change you make, notice the impact it generates, not just visually, but emotionally. The direct benefit of Kaizen no I: practicality, well-being, and a home that meets your real needs. You exit maintenance mode and enter evolution mode. The house stops being a burden and becomes a continuous project of care and growth. Number 10. Kokoro. Putting your heart in everything you do. Have you ever felt that, even though you clean your house, it remains lifeless? Have you tidied everything but felt like something was missing? This happens when we do things automatically, just out of obligation. The Japanese have a profound teaching that carries the essence of all the other tips, which literally means putting your heart into what you do. It's the idea of doing everything with intention, with presence, with soul. This secret solves the problem of disconnection from home. When we transform the house into a place just for things to do, it becomes a burden. But when we take care of it with care, with true attention, the space gives it back. Cleaning, tidying, cooking, even folding clothes. All of this can be a gesture of affection, not just a chore. How to apply? This does not require extra time. What changes is the intention. When making the bed, for example, do it as if you were preparing a special place for someone you love, even if it's for yourself. When sweeping the floor, think that you are also removing the stuck energy of the day. When storing an object, realize that you are putting everything in its place and your life too. A beautiful example comes from rural Japan. Before sweeping the yard, many residents make a small symbolic bow to the space as a gesture of respect. You can adapt this however you want. A minute of silence before cleaning begins, a deep breath, a thought of gratitude for being there in that home with everything it represents. The direct benefit of Kokoro. The house takes on a soul. It becomes a reflection of your real care, your living energy, and you, in return, feel more connected to every corner. Everything starts to make more sense. Even boring tasks become lighter because they stop being just obligations and become gestures of love. Just like that, your home is transformed, in truth, inside and out. Number 11. Minai. Appreciate what you already have. Have you ever bought something new to organize your house, thinking that that's what was going to solve it, and then realized that it didn't help that much? Have you ever thought that perhaps the solution is not always in acquiring more things, but in giving new value to what you already have? In Japan, there is a deep philosophy called Minai, which can be translated as what a waste. But it goes much further than that. It's about respect for resources, objects, and the energy invested in each thing. This secret solves the problem of impulse consumption and lack of connection with objects. When you start practicing Minai, it completely changes the way you look at your home. Instead of wanting to change everything, you start to see possibilities. Instead of discarding for the sake of discarding, you rethink its use. And this change brings much more awareness, savings, and sustainability. How to apply? Minai can be applied on several fronts. That jar without a lid can become a drawer organizer. That old piece of furniture can be restored and given a new life. Clothes that you hardly wear can be transformed into cleaning cloths or even into new pieces with creativity. More than that, instead of throwing away what is no longer useful, how about fixing it? Repairing is also an act of respect. Another important point is to take good care of what you already have instead of constantly replacing it. How about keeping it in good condition, cleaning frequently, storing carefully, and using it carefully? Minai is also about gratitude, realizing that every object in your home is there because, in some way, it already served you. It already had value. It already carried purpose. The direct benefit of Minai: you save, consume less, discard less, and start to see beauty in the simple. Your home is filled with stories, soul, authenticity, and you, little by little, free yourself from the idea that you need to buy something new to solve everything. With this secret, your relationship with home becomes deeper and lighter. Number 12. Ashimoto. Take good care of what's under your feet. Have you ever noticed how the floor in your house is the first thing to get dirty and the last thing to receive real attention? We step on it, drag it, drop it, wipe it off, and that's it. But in Japan, there is a subtle philosophy that gives the ground an almost sacred importance. Ashimoto means at the feet, and represents care for everything that is below the eye line, that which sustains the entire house, but is rarely valued. This secret solves the problem of invisible dirt and accumulated energy. We often clean up, organize objects, but forget about the floor. The floor in Japanese thinking is where the energy of the house circulates. A dirty or poorly maintained floor is seen as a sign of profound disorder, even if the rest is visually in order. How to apply? Applying Ashimoto is more than running around with a cloth. It's about observing the details, the corners, the baseboards, under the furniture. In Japan, it is common to take off your shoes when entering the house, and that makes a huge difference. You can adapt this too. Leave an efficient entrance mat, a place for shoes, and instruct visitors or residents to contribute to this care. Furthermore, Taking good care of the floor also means taking care of your body. A clean and safe surface prevents falls, dust accumulation, allergies, and even insects. What's more, a well-treated floor conveys order, even when the rest is not 100%. The direct benefit of Ashimoto: more hygiene, more harmony, and more connection with space. The energy of the house starts from the bottom up, and when you understand this, you begin to transform everything with firm, clean, and conscious steps. Number 13. Tatsu. Live delicately. Have you ever felt like you are living on automatic mode? Running, skipping steps, doing everything on impulse, including indoors? Routine can swallow us, and when that happens, the house becomes just a task scenario, not a space for good living. In Japan, there is a concept called Tatsu, which can be translated as live carefully or delicately. This philosophy has the power to slow down life without stopping the world. This secret solves the problem of blind haste and everyday carelessness. When we live in rush mode, we lose the charm of small things. Cleaning becomes an obligation. Food becomes just a function, and the house a deposit of chores. The Tatsu philosophy proposes the opposite. Do less with more presence. Do it simply but with love. How to apply? This translates into transforming common tasks into rituals. Instead of cleaning while listening to noise and thinking about 1,000 things, how about putting on calm music and being there completely? Instead of eating standing up or running, how about setting a simple table calmly, even if it's just for you? Light a candle, fold a towel with care, or water a plant like someone talking to it. What's more, Tatsu also teaches us how to choose what goes in and what stays in the house. It's not about having more, it's about having better. Having what you really use and love. Care for everything in the environment, and it must have a purpose. The main purpose should be to bring you well-being. Well, this lifestyle is a silent resistance to modern chaos, and it's totally possible, even in busy routines. It's not about perfection, it's about intention. It can take you just 10 minutes a day to create a Tatsu moment in your home, and you will feel the difference. Less anxiety, more balance. The direct benefit of Tatsu: your home stops being a busy place and becomes a place where you find yourself again. Everything takes on more meaning. Even the simplest tasks become a way of loving more deeply. Number 14. Shikata. Use space smartly. Have you ever had the feeling that your house is too small for everything you need to store? What space is needed to organize, to move around, to live? Often, the problem is not the size of the house, but rather the use we make of it. The Japanese master the art of optimizing small spaces with the concept of Shikata, which can be translated as the way to do something, or, in this case, the smart way to use available space. This secret solves the problem of the house being too full and the feeling of constant cramping. In Japan, where properties tend to be small, each corner has a clear, versatile function designed to make life easier. There is no wasted space, and this doesn't require expensive furniture or fancy solutions. It requires a creative look and functionality. How to apply? Shikata invites you to observe each room with strategy. For example, the back of doors can become a place to hang items with hooks. The space under the bed can be used with flat organizers. The wall can house vertical shelves instead of occupying the floor. A table can have a double function, being used for work during the day and as a support in the kitchen at night. Another important point is the flow. What you use frequently needs to be accessible, and what is rarely used can be stored further away. Shikata teaches that when everything is in the right place, space makes more sense, and stress decreases. You know that closet you have to go through every time? This is the opposite of Shikata. Reorganizing logically is liberating. You can apply this secret by starting with a space that irritates you the most today. It could be the kitchen cabinet, the bathroom, or the laundry room. Analyze, test new arrangements, remove excess, group by function, and use transparent containers. Notice how functionality changes the environment. The direct benefit of Shikata. your home starts working in your favor. Everything becomes more practical, more fluid, lighter. You feel like you have more space, even without changing your address. And the best part, over time, this translates into savings of time, energy, and even money. Number 15. Ichigo Ichi. Every moment is unique. Have you ever noticed how, in the rush of everyday life, we live waiting for the ideal moment to take care of the house? Wait for the weekend, wait for time to spare, wait for it to feel like it. And in the meantime, tasks, stress, and that constant feeling of being indebted to your home accumulate. But the Japanese have a philosophy called Ichigo Ichi, which can be translated as once one date, meaning every moment is unique and will never happen again in the same way. This secret solves the problem of emotional procrastination, the habit of leaving not only chores for later, but also the little pleasures around the house. The Ichigo Ichi philosophy invites us to live in the now with presence, valuing each moment as if it were the most special, even the simplest. How to apply? This means transforming ordinary moments into unique experience. Are you folding clothes? Make this a moment of connection. Touch each piece carefully. Are you washing the dishes? Observe the water, feel the temperature, notice the movements. Are you setting the table? Add a flower, a candle, a detail that makes that dinner different, even if it's just another Tuesday. It also means stopping, waiting for the big moment to take care of the house. The Ichigo Ichi teaches that now is all we have, and if this now is lived with affection, it transforms you. You transform, and your home becomes a reflection of this. A practical example: the next time you go to clean the house, don't think about tiredness or wasted time. Think that this moment could be unique. Put on music that inspires you. Light an aroma that calms you. Feel gratitude for being alive, active, and able to take care of your home. This changes everything. The direct benefit: the house becomes the setting for special moments, no matter the size, decoration, or mess of the day. You start to connect with the present, and when that happens, everyday life becomes a celebration. Cleaning becomes meditation, and the home becomes a temple. Now that you've met the 15 Japanese secrets that can transform your home forever, I want to ask you a question. Which one touched you the most? Which of these principles do you feel you need to apply today in your corner? We talk about cleaning with intention, about conscious detachment, about organization that works, about energy, aroma, simplicity, collaboration, presence. And all of these teachings have something in common. They give control of your home back to you. No magic formulas, no empty promises, just awareness, lightness, and small, consistent steps. You don't need to change everything at once. You don't need to have the perfect house. Just get started. A room, a habit, a gesture, and little by little you will realize that your home responds. It becomes lighter, more functional, more yours. If you felt inspired by this content, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with someone who is also tired of the mess, the rush, the feeling that everything is never in order. Bring this Japanese philosophy to more people, because it doesn't just transform your home. It transforms your outlook, your routine, and even your way of living. And tell me here in the comments, which secret will you apply first? I read them all and love knowing what touched each person the most. And if you want, I can bring you a video delving into each of these secrets in detail, step by step. Just ask me below. Remember, your home is a reflection of your care. When you care with presence and intention, even the simplest environment becomes a place of peace, welcome, and joy.